white paper, number one thing is we got to remember something. Retirement has a lot of risk that you can't really unwind. There just aren't do-overs in retirement. That's where you come out of retirement and go back and work a job. That happened to a lot of people in '08 because they took really, really bad mainstream advice. And that bad mainstream advice was max out your 401k in a good solid mutual fund and everything will be great. Well, a lot of people did that. And in 2008, if a person say had $1 million and their portfolio dropped 40%, then literally now they got $600,000. And guess what? Now they've got an asset class that has just been exposed to. They had $1 million and their portfolio dropped 40%, then literally now they got $600,000. And guess what? Now they've got an asset class that has just been exposed. They had $1 million and their portfolio dropped 40%, then literally now they got $600,000. And guess what? Back to work. How did that happen? Bad advice from mainstream financial gurus. Here's a term that my teammates and I that we talk about, and it just makes sense when you begin to think about it. Some of these financial gurus out there, these financial entertainers, 12%, everything will be okay. And people took that advice. And in '08, a lot of those people went back to work. A lot of those people had a subpar retirement because of it, because they put all their eggs in that one basket. It's called the mutual fund. It's a relationship with the IRS. I mean, what if the IRS changes the rules? They can and they do. And not only that, stock market goes up and down. If your Social Security was inside of an asset that went up and down with the stock market, and it literally affected how much income you could take out, like, oh, right now it looks like you've been a really good worker. You've worked 30 plus years, 35 years. You've paid in, you're maxed out, you're going to get about $4,000, $4,500 a month into Social Security. And then when you actually go to claim it, you find out, hey, you're only going to get $3,500. What happened? Oh, well, the market was down when you retired. You retired at the wrong time. No, nobody would go for that. Nobody would allow that. Nobody would say, I'm on board with that. But that's essentially what the 401k is. It's another part. It actually replaced pensions because, quite frankly, most companies do not have pensions anymore. The only people who have pensions are the government. Why? Because they can print money and raise taxes. They do not have to be profitable. They don't even have to be that smart. Because keep in mind, to stay in business for decades and decades, never take bailout, and to provide guaranteed lifetime income for people that are going to live maybe 30, 40 years into retirement or more, you actually got to be really smart, particularly if you can't print money and you can't raise taxes. That being said, why would we want to put all our money into an asset that's earmarked for income that has the ability to be cut in half with a market downturn? That happened to a lot of people in '08. So here's what I have taken away from that. If you look at financial gurus, they're really good advisors for really bad investors. Okay, why? Because they tell them to get out of debt. And pretty much people that are good investors kind of know that already. You don't have to tell them that. They just figured that one out. So what happens is, for really good investors, these financial gurus make really bad advisors because they tell you to do stuff like max out your 401k, put all your money in the 401k, put all your money in the stock market, don't have any guaranteed income, don't have any increasing income, be in a relationship with the IRS with all your money. Not a great plan, guys. Not a great plan. So as we look at Washington and your retirement, my white paper I'm offering to anybody that reaches out to us, you can call us, you can text.
An email to Mike and copying Tish. That's what was recommended by Christina, that I was having problems. So I'm going to try to get the mics worked on a little bit. Try to get it that empty hollow. But we have other priorities that I'm going to have. An email to Mike and Mike. Do you have anything?
And he just came on live there. It's picking up the audio off of that.
Where?
Just now, we're talking. It says you're going to talk to Mike. You?
So you're hearing me complain?
Right. Because.
Okay, I'm going to get out of here.
Well, consider these very, very pressing risks that all savers are facing today, particularly if you're maxing out a 401k or some other kind of retirement plan, and it's your number one base, it's your foundation for your retirement. Well, then there's tax risk. Tax risk has to do with your level of taxation. And the risk of your taxes will be higher in retirement than we really thought is probable. It's likely. It could very well happen, which means more of your income would go to the IRS in the form of taxes and less will go into your wallet to spend in retirement. But then there's also legislative risk. Legislative risk is where legislation has a lot to do with the structure of the U.S. tax code. So there is the risk that the government, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 15 years, can pass new legislation that negatively impacts your current retirement savings vehicle and how you can fund it and the taxes when you go to take it out. One of the biggest keys to understand is something called changing tax brackets.
Check.
Throughout history, modern history, Congress has passed laws adjusting. That's right. Congress has passed laws adjusting U.S. tax brackets. So as these brackets shift, it can really affect you as to how much taxes you end up paying in retirement. Now, I've got a white paper on that. A lot of folks come in to see me in the office. If they remind me of it, I'll offer it to you and give it to you. It's a really kind of scary white paper when you look at it. Now, the good news is because President Trump was in office and we have extended the Tax Cut and Job Act that of 2017, we're okay this year. Okay, we should be okay for a few more years. But if those brackets go back to what they were pre-Trump during Obama or during Biden's debacles, then guess what? Your taxes are going to go up significantly. And what if it's just as you're preparing for retirement? Washington in your retirement, let us know. We'll make that available to you. We have an important break coming up. We'll be right back.
Find more information, submit your questions, and request a complimentary financial strategy session with Roger Harris by calling 910-583-4321 or visiting whitehorse-financial.com.
Does tax-free income sound good to you? How about liquidity, safety, and an average tax-free rate of return of over 8%? Learn about a tax-free approach to retirement, the best-kept secret the IRS doesn't want you to know. Listen to White Horse Financial Solutions, Tuesdays from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. right here on WFNC. For free information, call or text 910-583-4321 or visit our website at whitehorse-financial.com.
Welcome to the White Horse Financial Solutions radio program. Roger Harris is a seasoned financial and retirement planning strategist, helping savers craft purpose-driven plans to achieve your important life goals, making the most and keeping more of each and every dollar.
Hello and welcome back to White Horse Financial Solutions. I'm your host, Roger Harris. Today's show, we are talking about being prepared for retirement by, number one, taking a defensive stance on where you're at with your retirement, because a lot of it is just, hey, let's protect what you've already built. Okay, let's make sure what you've built is put into the types of asset classes that you need to have them in. You know, we spend our working years in asset allocation, which is a mix of stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Now, as we get closer to retirement, or as we just have an unction that, hey, maybe I should be more focused on income, then you want to start looking at an income allocation model. An income allocation model means outside of your current pensions and or guaranteed income sources, you fill the gap with IPAs, income producing assets. And these are income allocation strategies. Washington has to also cover Wall Street. So if you like this, there's no reason for that. There's no cost involved. There's no obligation on either one of our parts. So what you can do is you can give us a call or you can text us. That number is going to be 910-583-4321, 910-583-4321, and just leave us your name and your email, and say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with Roger. We'll have somebody call you and schedule that conversation, or you can go to our website, whitehorse-financial.com. whitehorse-financial.com, and you can just schedule your own appointment. That'd be great. Or if you'd like to take advantage of the free white paper, Washington in your retirement, then we'll email it to you. That's not a problem at all. So let's get into, I really want to cover a little bit. I think this would be helpful for a lot of you. Most of you that have listened to me for a while, you know that I am a certified exit planning advisor. That is known as a CEPA. So really what I do is I help small business owners that are planning an exit strategy that's going to be really crucial for ensuring your businesses, your financials, your personal goals, that they're all met, whether it's 6 months from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, and you're planning your exit. The longer time you spend planning your exit from your business, the better your exit plan will be. I know last week I mentioned these, but I want to go over them again. There's really 5 Ds that can really, really negatively impact your business. Okay. And the cool thing is there are workarounds every single one of them. Okay. Really important. So I'm just going to go over these real quick. I'm going to mention the 5. I'm going to go in a little more detail. And I'm also going to explain the workaround. Number 1 is divorce. Divorce can be financially and emotionally draining, to say the least. Disagreements among business partners can really threaten the stability and the success of the entire business. Number 3 is distress. That could be an economic downturn, personal financial crisis, or some business-specific issue that can lead to distress. Maybe things change in your industry radically, and guess what? You're out of business. Now, what about number 4? That's disability. A sudden disability can prevent you from running your business effectively, which is really, really bad. And then there's, of course, the last, which is death, an untimely, unexpected, quite frankly, planned for. Can you plan for death? Yeah, you can definitely plan for death because we're all headed that way eventually, right? Unless the Lord comes back first. So keep in mind, an untimely death of a business owner can be devastating. Now, I'm going to go back and cover each one and get into a little more detail. Divorce. An exit strategy that includes a prenup or a postnuptial agreement, as well as clear business succession plans, can really mitigate those risks. Something to keep in mind. Number 2 is disagreement. A buy-sell agreement can outline the procedures for handling disputes, including the valuation of business shares and the process for buying out a partner, thereby ensuring continuity. Really important. Number 3, distress, is having a contingency plan, including an emergency funding. That is important. And clear operational strategies can help your business survive tough times and make a planned exit much more feasible. Number 4, disability. And that is basically, you could have disability insurance, that is pennies on the dollar, and a solid succession plan that essentially has components of an exit strategy, ensuring that your business can continue and operate smoothly in your absence. That would give you peace of mind, right? Now, the last one, the most obvious one to all of us, because this is the one that applies to everyone at some point, maybe not while you're still in your business, but it certainly does apply. And that's death. Life insurance policies, pennies on the dollar. It is a no-brainer, tax-efficient way to pass on assets to the next generation, or in this case, as a part of your business plan. A detailed succession plan, clear instructions in your will that would ensure that your business is transferred smoothly to your heir or sold under more favorable terms. Again, that is the role of a CEPA, a Certified Exit Planning Advisor. That is what I do. I'm trained to help business owners develop and execute exit strategies that maximize business valuation and make sure the transition is small. I don't do all that by myself. I have a team. I am the CEPA. Some people refer to that as the quarterback, but we also have some high-level tax people. We have estate planning attorneys. We have obviously some very high-level CPAs. And so we have folks that help us in doing that. And obviously, the more moving parts you have, the more assets you have, the more employees you have, depending on what business you're in, the more moving parts it may have. It may be something really simple. It may not be so simple. But here's what it starts with. Every bit of that starts with, if you've never had a market valuation of your business, or maybe you've had one, but it's been 5 years or longer, you really need to look at that because your business may not be worth what you think it is. And that could be a good thing or it could be a really bad thing. Okay. I've seen people that thought their business was worth $3 million and came back, it was worth, less than one. As a matter of fact, even had one person, when we had a valuation on their business, it was determined their business wasn't worth anything. Nobody would want to buy it. It would just be a liquidation sale. Just sell the parts, man. The desk over here, the forklift over here, that computer, bolted down. If not, we'll take it. So I'm being a little bit facetious here, but my point is that if your business, and I'm getting into a little more in the weeds here, but I just like talking about certified exit planning. If you don't have things documented as to how your business is going to run and your business isn't designed to run on autopilot, if your business can't run without you, you do not have a successful business that you can sell. You might be a success, but if you leave the office, all the knowledge, all the relationships, all the key information leaves with you, your business is not worth very much because nobody wants to buy everything that's inside your head. Okay. Now there are some workarounds. I've seen where some business owners had one recently that he did this. He stayed on. He sold his business and he agreed to stay on for 6 months, a year, whatever it was, 18 months as an employee, a paid employee to help. And that's not that unusual. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, you also need to have documentation. You need to have social engagement. You need to understand what is the reputation of your business. So there's a lot of moving parts to that. So that is something to keep in mind for those of you that are small business owners. And we do strive to work with you, help you, and assist you in getting to and through the sale of your business. Okay, that's really, really important. Let's get back to talking about protecting what you built. Think of it like this. There's a lot of work before the work. So a successful retirement happens long before the retirement party. Okay, the preparation phase includes far more effort than the actual retirement itself. And we've been kind of going on a Apollo launch example, if you will. So your retirement could be considered your launch. Okay. So in financial terms, let's remember a few things. Saving is harder than spending. Okay. Planning is harder than executing, but we've got to have a plan and we got to save. Changing habits is harder than maintaining them. So what am I saying? We do need to save, we do need to plan, and we're going to need to change some habits in most cases, but the preparation is what makes the mission safe and successful. So if you haven't really done the work or talked to somebody who is a retirement planner to look at what do you really have going on and how can we shore up your financial pinning so you're going to be okay, by all means, give us a call. We can assist you with that. That's 910-583-4321. We do have another very important break coming up. We'll be right back.
Find more information, submit your questions, and request a complimentary financial strategy session with Roger Harris by calling 910-583-4321 or visiting whitehorse-financial.com.
Does tax-free income sound good to you? How about liquidity, safety, and an average tax-free rate of return of over 8%? Learn about a tax-free approach to retirement. The best-kept secret the IRS doesn't want you to know. Listen to White Horse Financial Solutions, Tuesdays from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. right here on WFNC. For free information, call or text 910-583-4321.